Okay, it would appear that it is indeed live. So here we go. I opened my MP tutorial from last, and I'm gonna make a few teleports in here. First off, use touch teleporter. I'll just make a small platform. Just to indicate that there's a teleport there. And I'm gonna put a trigger on top of it. And of course in this case it will be a use touch trigger. Now this teleport script needs a target. So let's make a nice house-like thingy somewhere. Like here. And I'm just gonna be lazy and just gonna make it into this thing. And I'll put a script origin inside of it. I'll make sure that it's halfway in ground so the player actually gets teleported on the ground, as the middle of the brush is actually where you get teleported. Then I'm gonna connect the two. I'll select the trigger first, and then while having the trigger selected I also select the script origin, connect them with W, like so. I'll give the trigger a target name. I'll name it teleport use or something. Like so. Then I also make a teleport, I'll just copy this thing, with a trigger multiple, so you don't have to press F to use. And if I copy the trigger and the target, then the script will automatically rename the target. So the only thing now is to turn this into a trigger multiple. And it doesn't want to, so let's ungroup first. Make it into a trigger multiple. And given that we just ungrouped, it's not an entity anymore. And we need to reconnect it. Also, you might want your player to have a certain angle when he comes out of the teleport. So we're gonna select the thing, press N, and then you can just click one of these degree angle thingies, and inside the you'll see a small arrow pointing in the direction that it's teleporting in, like so. Repeat the same for the other. I'll let the other one go into the wall. Wrong wall. Nope, that wall. Like so. However, if you don't want your... I selected both of them, so I need to reset the previous. Like so. If you don't want your angle set, then just ignore the set player angles thing in script later on. And now the trickiest one. We're gonna make a jump style teleport. So what we need for that is some kind of thing to indicate that there's a teleport. Just gonna make something Stargate shit. And I'll copy the star to make a teleport exit. Like so. Now I'm gonna put a trigger multiple in the middle of one of them. And I'll also put a script origin in the well, somewhere inside this thing. It doesn't matter where, as long as I remember where. So for now, I'm gonna put it top left. I'm gonna make sure that it's in the middle, so for this I'll need to refine my grid a bit. Like so. As you can see, it's in the top left. I'll copy. And I'll put it in the same. Okay, I'll try to adjust my settings there. Let's see. Yeah. Now it should keep me talking for 300 more milliseconds. So I'm gonna put this one also in the top left corner, but of the second one. Now just to reiterate, it is not important where you put it, as long as you put it in the same place in both. And now I'm just gonna connect my trigger to my first script origin with W. Then I'm gonna connect my script origin one to my second one, like so. And now you see the trigger is connected to the first script origin, which is connected to the second one. So now we need some target names. Given that this thing is teleport use, and there script-wise there will not be a difference between a use touch and a multiple teleport, I'll just also name this one teleport use. Might make no sense to you, but yeah, script-wise I'm lazy. And the second one I'll name something else. How about teleport Stargate? Like so. Now I'll save this thing and I'll compile it, just because compiling takes a while. And I'll start scripting it. First thing, the main. And I just switched off from push to talk to push to mute, because I don't like having to touch my mouse while coding. So the first thing is the level.effect fix. The second thing is the maps mp load main thingy. And then we got our normal teleports, which I'll do now. And our teleporters is an array. So instead of getEnd, we'll use getEnd array. And they're called teleport use, both of them, which is their target name. Now we will loop through all these teleports. And do something with that. As you can see, this is a for loop, which means that our I starts at 0. Every loop the I will increase by 1. And the I will remain under teleports.size. Now that's important, because we have two teleport use thingies. This one will probably be the second one in the array, and this one will be the first. However, in normaling, good call on that teleporters.size. Anyway, yeah, arrays are 0 based, so they start with their first element at index 1. At index 0, and their second element is at index 1. So that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for I to be 0 and 1, which will happen if we start at 0 and never let it get to teleporters.size, which is 2. So it will never reach 2. So then we call on our teleporters number I a thread that does do normal teleport. Then we create that thread. We need a while loop, or at least something infinite, because we want the teleporters to work forever. And in this script, the teleporter in question, which is just the trigger, will be the self. So we can use self wait till trigger. And I already know I want a player out of that, so I'll just use that. Now we need to get our target. If you look closely, this stuff is basically auto 4 for the first one. If you look more closely, the target name of that thing is auto 4. So we can just use get end self.target target name, which will be our target. So when a player touches the trigger or presses use, that doesn't matter, because the trigger use touch will trigger when someone uses it, and the trigger multiple will also trigger when someone touches it. So script wise they're not different. At that point we need to set the origin of the player to the target.origin, and we also want to set the player's angles to the target.angles, like so. Now this is a very normal teleport. However, we still need to add a wait 0.1 to avoid the teleport working twice. Now our Stargate teleports, which in this case is just one, but I'll code it like it would be multiple. For that I'll start out with our normal teleport script. I'll rename it to Stargate teleports, and our target name is a bit different here, but we can just loop through that array and do the same thing. Now here we have a target, which is also a get end of self.target, and the target name. Yeah, I'll send a link to Pauli after the VOD is done, so he can watch the thing in full. And yeah. However, we got a secondary target in our Stargates. This is our first target, which also has a dot target, which is this one. So to get that one, we need to also get a target 2, which will be the get end of target.target, its target name. And if anyone donates €1 for every time I use the word target in this VOD, then yeah, you're gonna be poor and I'm gonna be rich. So we also need to wait for the player to arrive at our teleport, so we also need to wait till a player triggers it. And at that point we can calculate the difference between target and target 2. I'll just rename this one to target 1 to make the difference more clear. And that difference, god damn it, shut up in chat. Anyway, as we need to go to the target 2 and we're coming from target 1, we need to subtract the target 2 origin. Sorry, we need to subtract the target 1 origin from the target 2 origin. like so. This is the movement that the player will make when he teleports. So let's get the player to set his origin to his current origin plus the difference between those two things. That means that if I paint this real quick, if a player starts at this position, let's call this 300. I don't care that it's actually in 3D, and he touches a teleport here. That is at 500, or for this case let's use 350. And he should go towards here, which will be at 500. Then the difference between this one and this one is the same as 500 minus that 350, which is 150, which means that the player will then teleport to 450. So that's exactly what we want, so that's nice. And for the angles, if we are actually going to use a Stargate, then it doesn't make much sense to also set the angles. What I will do is add the weight 0.1 here, so players don't get teleported twice. I'll save this real quick. And I'll put my compiled map in there. Just give me a few seconds for that. Oh, dang it. Started with a different project there. And it seems to still be in use by my Radiant. So I'll just close that for now. And then I'll start my Call of Duty. With the wrong .exe. Dang it. Just to respond to Clay's comment about me being boring, if I have to do simple stuff, yeah, then it might be boring. Just request something difficult. And request me to not stop at every point along the way. Okay, so let's start with our first teleport, which is the press use to teleport thingy. And as you can see, that works fine. We even get turned around. Because if we look at that thing, we then are not. Then our trigger multiple teleport, which should just be a touch thingy, which also works, and we're also in the right angle here. So now the Stargate, let's jump through it. And for some reason I fucked up. So I do think that it's triggering twice now, because I'm getting outside my map. Let's double check the script, and let's just add a print line to it. Try. And we are just getting teleported once, which makes this extra weird. So let's take this one step at a time. Let's calculate our difference first. And then just print that alongside the teleport. So there we go. And then we can also print the starting position. Ah, I see where this went wrong. We're using self.origin instead of player.origin. So instead of teleporting from the player's origin, we're teleporting from the self.origin. But as this trigger has no origin, it will have the origin in 0, 0, 0, which will most likely mean that we are getting in the position that is just the difference between those two, which is not what we want. So let's just switch to player.origin as it was originally intended. I know I left a difference in, but that doesn't matter. It gets only calculated once, so all should be good. So if you now jump through this thing, we just get teleported to the other side. If we jump backwards through it, we even get backwards through this thing, which is nice. And if I actually jump backwards with S, you can even see that more clear. Sideways also works. So yeah, there we go. That's how that's done. At least after you take out the bugs. I'll just quickly upload this script somewhere, so you guys can enjoy it. You don't actually lose speed in a teleport. If you want to lose speed in a teleport, you could use a quick link to for 0.05 seconds. And I'll upload the script towards Discord as well, because people are asking for it. Upload failed. Probably because I'm uploading directly from a .rar file. There we go. Enjoy. And I'm signing out. See ya.